And yeah, that is, I think, the trickiest thing with gold and silver, platinum and palladium is once you do decide to go that route and take physical delivery, where do you keep it? And that's something that our customers are always struggling with. You say you have a single woman who's renting an apartment downtown. That's not necessarily the place that you want to have $100,000 in gold and silver. When I speak with customers here in particular, even some just friends that stop by who've already done a lot of their purchasing, they seem very content in keeping it in 5, 6 different places. Even if one of those places is exposed to counterparty risk, having it spread out like that really relieves a lot of that anguish.
Yeah, and everyone's going to have their own thoughts on what they think is most prudent for them. But yeah, spreading out that risk is probably a good idea across multiple jurisdictions. It may be more difficult for you to take delivery that day, but then again, not very many people need a large amount of bullion at any one time to go about their daily transactions, things like that.
One thing that people are interested in doing is converting their IRA. You have the option of having a self-directed IRA in gold and silver bullion, and something that this is a service that we provide here at Liberty Coin and Precious Metals, but we are inclined also to suggest to the people who inquire about that to maybe look towards taking physical delivery. And a lot of people really don't like doing that because there's about a 40% tax penalty. And that's a lot to stomach. What they'd rather do is have their gold and silver stored 2-3 states away, 1,000 miles, let's say, in a vault through some IRA company. That's counterparty risk. It might, for a lot of people, be safer to take that 40% tax hit, take physical delivery of, say, silver, which could run 25% in a day or 2 days, and hold it for the long term. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, an IRA, because it's a statutory construction, it's ruled by that statute. So you've got to follow the rules, whatever the statute says, in order to get the benefits of it. And so with an IRA, if you're going to get the benefits of it, if you're going to get the benefits of holding gold bullion or silver bullion in an IRA, you've got to follow the rules of the IRA, which requires people to hold it in with a third party to have possession of that gold and silver. So if you take delivery of it, then you do take the hit. So it's balancing whether you want the tax benefits of the IRA statutory language, or do you want the gold or silver in your possession, and you'd rather avoid the counterparty risk.
Now, you're also an attorney here in San Diego, correct, Bill?
Right.
Do you do a lot of work with finances and public institutions like, say, the IRS? Are you well versed in the relationship between gold and silver and how the IRS is viewing it currently to speak on it?
Well, I don't do any tax advocacy or anything like that, but I do research tax issues and do tax planning for businesses to help them, to show them what deductions might be available, what kind of tax strategies they can do when they're forming their business to reduce their tax obligations and things like that.
Have you stumbled across any information relating to the holding of bullion for private individuals, I guess in this case, that they should be made aware of?
Really, it's when you're transacting in bullion, you do need to be aware of the reporting requirements that might apply. For example, and this applies to any business that deals with a transaction of $10,000 or more in cash. The business needs to report that to the IRS if they're making a transaction of $10,000 or more in cash. So when you're buying bullion, gold or silver or platinum, palladium, whatever you're buying, those rules will still apply. So in any one particular transaction, or if there are a string of transactions that are related, and the transactions add up to $10,000 or more, that will need to be reported to the IRS.
Indeed. A transaction as defined by the IRS is also any string of transactions within a 24-hour time period. And so a lot of the bullion dealers in the U.S. are viewed by the IRS and the federal government as financial institutions. So we have to follow the same laws and rules that does a bank, for example. Bitcoin. You're very interested in Bitcoin, Bill. What are your thoughts on that sort of technology? Maybe even gold money?
Yeah, well, Bitcoin and gold money are two completely separate ideas. Gold money is within the formal financial system. They follow the know your customer rules. So when you sign up for a gold money account, you need to provide them with all kinds of identification and things like that. And then they hold your bullion in a particular place, and then you can trade the share of the bullion that you own among other gold money users and things like that. Bitcoin is a completely new idea. It's an idea that has never been pursued before, and it's really the first decentralized digital form of currency. We've never seen a technology like that before, where there is no central authority that can control it. It's anyone who is out there following the Bitcoin protocol, basically the program that was written to run the Bitcoin system. What that means is the system can't follow those know your customer rules. Anybody who wants to, who is technologically savvy enough to write a program or simply download some of the free programs that are already out there to run that Bitcoin protocol, can participate in the Bitcoin system. Mm-hmm. Anyone with their own computer with enough computing power can generate their own Bitcoins and then can start trading them with anybody who will accept them. So as far as personal privacy and things like that, Bitcoin is a huge step forward as far as protecting your privacy in the financial area. Whether Bitcoin itself is a viable idea, whether it will be around in 5 or 10 years, nobody knows. We don't know if that's going to last. But it's the proof of the concept, and there will only be more and more and more technologies like that either borrow from the Bitcoin idea or improve on it or something like that. And so there's really no containing that genie. The genie is now out of the bottle. And so it's a really, I think it's a positive thing overall, although there are some risks. Some negative things are going to happen because of Bitcoin, but I think overall it's probably a positive thing for individuals to get a little bit more privacy, a little bit more freedom in their economic transactions.
Mm-hmm. And I would say there's really no such thing as being able to avoid risk. Wherever you have your assets, no matter in which country you find yourself, you're going to be exposed to, in this world, unfortunately, a lot of risk.
Right. You're exposed to risk when you step out of your door every day, but you're also exposed to risk if you just sit inside on the couch all day. So there's nothing you can do that's risk-free.
And so with Bitcoin, it ties into that idea of if you have all of your savings in gold and silver, you can spread around the physical to 4 or 5 different locations, have it with family, for example, or maybe even in a different country. You can have, I think personally, one should have probably the majority of their holdings or savings in physical gold and silver in a safe area somewhere. But also diversifying into Bitcoin and also having a considerable amount of cash on hand, I think is a way of minimizing risk.